Yo guys, today I got a really exciting video. So, as you might know, yesterday there was the top 16 qualifier where two people qualified for the first Gwent Open of season number 3. CD Parson are always doing a great job in terms of focusing on the competitive scene, giving attention to it. So hopefully I can bring all of you guys up to speed. What I will say though is that yesterday the two final games were casted by Thea and Lionhart. So it's really nice to see that it's actually possible to actually watch the final games now. It's definitely a step in the right direction. But in case you don't know what happened, then as you can see, these were the players: Mayamon Akela, Shaggy, Laddick, Chase, Atsikov, Swayat, Iluha, Bart, Patch, Green Knight, Magpie, and Dark Kevin, aka Spivey, Red Rame, and Camps. And if you've been paying any sort of attention to the competitive scene, you probably know most of these names already. It's a really, really stacked field, a bunch of very, very good players. And honestly, all of these guys could qualify and wouldn't be a surprise. Akela and Shaggy won, the second round as well. We got Chase and Tailbot making it from the first rounds to face off where Tailbot won. Bart won against Aluha. Green Knight won in 3-2 against the world champion Patchable. Afterwards, Bart won against Green Knight. Then Spivey won against Magpie, also in a really close game. Camps won against Red Rame. And finally, Spivey won against Camps. So this first part was single elimination. So at this point, we have 4 players left. We have Shaggy, Tailbot, Bart, and Spivey. And only 2 out of these 4 players will qualify. So, for some reason, the bracket is not showing the results now. But Tailbot managed to win against Shaggy to make it to the final. I believe the game ended 3-2 to Tailbot, so really, really close. And Bart managed to win against Spivey to the final. So, in the final, Tailbot and Bart faced off against each other. Both their teammates, both of them are from LGC. And Tailbot won in a very close game against Bart there. So 3-2 for Tailbot, and he takes the first spot. Now, in the meantime, Spivey and Shaggy are fighting off against each other, but Spivey manages to win against Shaggy, which means that Spivey gets a chance to get revenge against Bart. And this game is super, super close. I highly recommend that you go back and watch the Twitch VOD from that game, from the official cast, because that was a super, super close game. So basically what happens is that Spivey gets ahead 2-1 against Bart. Then Bart wins. It's now 2-2 after a super close mirror. Then they tie the final game, so they have to replay it. And then so they replay the final game, and in the replay, Bart manages to win by 1 point. So super, super, super close game. Highly recommend watching it if you haven't already. But it basically means that Tailbot and Bart did manage to make it to the first open. So huge congrats to both of them. As you know, we already had Bart on the channel a few days ago for a video, so make sure to check that out. And I'm also very happy to announce that Tailbot will be joining us for a video in the next few days. So if you have any questions you would like me to ask him, then feel free to post them in the comment section below. So, next up, we will take a look at the decks that both Tailbot and Bart brought to the tournament. Especially Tailbot had some really, really interesting decks. And then we will try a game with one of his decks. I think we'll try out the double Matic deck, but honestly, there is a bunch of different decks he brought that we will definitely be playing, and we'll be doing videos on for the next few days. Alright, so let's start off with Bart's decks. So Bart took a strategy that I sometimes use myself as well, which is basically just to bring your ladder decks. Bring the decks you're comfortable with. Obviously they have to make some sense in the lineup, but just bring the decks that are good decks that you know how to play. So he brought Earthsign Ritual. You've already seen this deck before probably. It's one of the highest rated decks in the GLG meta report. I've been playing a lot on stream as well. Just a very solid deck. Won't spend too much time on that. Then next up, we got Uprising. Also very standard. Bart is going for variant with Alsace and Margarita. which does allow him to have better matchups against stuff like Deadeye Ambush and Skellige. If you're running Erden, for instance, instead of the Ansays, this matchup just becomes like very, very tough. Margarita instead of Berengar, the lock is just very valuable in a lot of matchups, even though you lose probably around 4 points for the lock compared to Berengar. Then we have his Kelly list. And again, this is also a list that Bart's been playing a lot on ladder. He has very good results with Kelly, and this is a good deck. I'll just refresh because it seems like it isn't showing the right cards. Nothing really spectacular to say about this, to be honest. Solid deck, it's strong, has several good matchups. And again, you could take this deck and just play it on ladder, no problem. Then the last deck he brought was Nature's Gift, and as you probably know as well, then Bart is famous for playing a lot of Nature's Gift. This is a good deck. I mean, it's a little bit different than what I've been playing. I myself, he's playing a version with Figgis and Puffco and Sage, also Ciaran, so also actually double Cat Witches, so it's actually very different from what I am playing. But it's still the same idea, right? You want to get value from your nature cards, play a bunch of very strong engines. This time you have actually a tool to protect your engines. But yeah, it's a good deck. Not much else to say about that. And then that was Bart decks. Okay, so you've probably seen all of his decks before. They're good decks, and you can take them and play them later. But now we get to Tailbot decks, and these are really, really interesting. So first off, we got this one. This is a double Madoc list. Now you might be saying, hey, we have seen double Madoc before. What's special about this? Well, you've seen double Madoc, but this version is quite different in a lot of ways. First of all, you're not playing Viper Witches. Usually you run these Viper Witches to break the opponent. He's saying, nope, I don't need that. He's also playing a Vigo with 4 bronze targets. As you can see, he got Tortoise, he got Informant, he got Emissary, and they got the Mentors, right? You usually always want the Vigo to hit a Mentor, but with this version you actually have a chance of missing. Another thing this does is that it has double Tall Punish. It has both Heatwave and it has Invocation. And then you're running Brathens. So actually a lot of interesting cards he's running here. He also went for Maxi instead of something like a Roderick, which is also another pretty unusual choice because you're actually sacrificing a bit of consistency. I know Maxi is also consistency card, but Roderick gives you access to a golden run 3, right? And Maxi doesn't. So a little bit surprised about some of the choices here, but what can I say? It worked out really well for him. Then next up, we have his Blaze of Glory list. Also very, very interesting list here. So most people have been playing Ursine Warriors, but Tailbot is just saying, nope, I can build my own decks. So he's going for a non-devotion build with cards like Heatwave, Yalma, Madoc, Eskel. Like, I haven't seen this card in ages. Gal Gwent to shoot out a Bear Witcher, a bunch of bombs, and then discard package, and burner as well here. So, really, really interesting build here. Honestly, I haven't played this myself yet, but I have to give this a go. Like, this looks so weird. I'm super amazed that he got so good results with it. And then we got Guerrilla Tactics, and this is another one, right? We're just like, wow, what is this? Like, he's playing Ragnarok. The rest of the deck is kind of similar to what you've seen before. Like, we have all seen, like, No Unit Scoia'tael, but this is a version with Dunka, it's the version with, the Ragnarok and the Madoc. It's just Brehan as well. So it's just very good at going completely non-interactive, and then in the end, you can then finish off with this, basically you want to finish off with the Gord, right? And then you just deal damage to the opponent for the entire round without giving them anything to interact with. He's going for the Justice as well, which is a little bit weird considering he's only running double Minor, double Pyro. I'm surprised that's actually enough consistency to thin them out, but again, apparently it's working for him. And his last deck, Araka Swarm, a deck that actually turned out to be somewhat popular in the tournament. And it's pretty similar to the other builds we have seen. He's going for a version with Dao and Dorgaray, but also double Tall Punish in terms of Curse and Heatwave. This deck is just very good at staying low to the ground, don't give the opponent anything tall to interact with, and then you have these punishes with the Heatwave, the Curse, and you have the payoff cards, Triss, and Yen. And Crimson Curse is just incredibly strong, to be honest. This card is just good, especially in AQ. There's just no other monster decks where it really makes sense to run right now, because the only other playable monster deck is Kelly, and I don't really want to put bodies on your side of the board in Kelly. So yeah, that's basically the decks. As mentioned before, we will now jump into a few games with this this deck, the Double Matic deck. But don't worry, we will definitely be trying out a bunch of the other decks as well. So yeah, let's jump into some games. Okay, so we go against Uprising on blue coin.
There is but one punishment for traitors.
Be interesting. I think if we can get into a bleed situation, I think we will be in an okay situation. We have Tortoise, we have Cynthia for productivity, we have 2 bombs, we have the Kingslayer. It's looking okay so far. Might mull the Duchess Informant here. 1 code weapon is not too bad either. I think I like this hand. We also have the Maxi, which is always a card you like to find round 1. Just start with Thynsia here. Give him a little bit of clog in the deck. You have a Purify Bomb, which will answer an Adept if he goes for that.
The wonders of projectiles and ranged weaponry.
I think I'm gonna go for the Banish Bomb here, just to set up the Kingslayer. Hopefully we'll be able to transform here. I'm gonna do that first, and then I'm gonna deal with the Adept next. This was kind of to be expected. So I'll activate both of these. And then we go for the Purify Bomb here. Next up, you'll probably consider going for something like the Maxi. Goes for... okay, I think this is a Heatwave for me, actually. Don't want this card to go through. I'm okay making that trade. Obviously a little bit annoyed that he actually found his AA. It's always nice when they don't. Wondering if he's keeping his Erland for later on to use that to like buff up his entire deck. Wondering about his tempo here, to be honest. Like, should struggle to do these points soon, but I really don't want to give him the round. So I think I'm going to keep going with the Maxi here. So how are these straws looking? Is this a hand we want to keep? Like, essentially we're going to find... so we're going to have like... we might miss out on 1 mentor here. But we will find these 3 cards and some bombs. Is this good enough of a hand to win? Kind of what we gotta ask ourselves. I think these top decks are actually not that bad. Like 1 proactive play, then Vigo, Mentor, and then these 2. I think we might keep, to be honest. But this is one of the hardest cards to actually use correctly, I think. I think I'll go for confirmed choice here. I'm really hoping that we can force a pass for him soon. But it seems like he's still going strong. Goes location here.
What's going on about this Bart fella?
Okay, I'll just play another tortoise here. We have access to 1 mentor here.
Getting down's another matter.
I think if we win the round, we're okay. So far, he still hasn't played any carrier in terms of Erland or Vesemir, but he does have access to at least one of them now, given this play. Okay, he goes for the Erland.
Our suffering binds us.
I'm gonna kill this now, because this is like killing a 4, and it's good clock value. I think it's fine to play it. I'm wondering if he's gonna activate his Erland here. That could potentially end up being a problem. But again, I think taking the pass is very bad as well. At least if he activates now, it's like a lot of... like it's all his carryover gone. I'm gonna try to drop one Mentor here. Playing for 11. 11 is usually Erden. I don't think there's anything else at 11. Unless I'm mistaken. Gwent is a 10, right? Yeah, Gwent is a 10. So that should mean he's an Erden. But Erden with this is kind of unusual. Interesting. Take the round. He got a bunch of carryover, Mentor, Erland, and location. But we just need to bleed here. So we're going to see okay draws here. We don't actually need the tortoise anymore because we do actually have the proactivity already. So I think we'll keep this hand. This is a pretty solid hand. Committing this round 1 has the downside of that we don't really want to shuffle this one back now because that means he'll top deck it next round, which would be a disaster. I'll just drop it here. Only playing for 8. That is a big issue. That is a big issue. So that means that he found his Erden. And his Gwent for that matter. He's running that.
Up the tree you go, lad. Quick now. Retrieve my bolt.
I'm gonna go for this one as well, I think. We found the Mentor, which is very nice. We didn't mulligan anything high-end here. I might just shuffle something back at this point. Like maybe the Griffin Witcher Adept. Maybe just a target practice, to be honest. I think the target practice is a fine thing to shuffle back. Then I'm gonna play the bomb next. And then it's gonna be interesting to see. He actually has another one of these. This is not gonna draw that card though. Okay, so now we go for the bomb. If we have a pass here, but I think we always play the bomb first. Erden is not enough to catch up here. He has played both of his AAs. So his hand should be maybe Witchers, Erden, Gwent. Goes for the Witches here. Okay, I think this could be a pass for me. Obviously we are down a card here. But we did get his Witchers out, most of his carryover on these. His Erden is not going to be, like, it's obviously going to be annoying, but we're not actually going to play that many big units because I don't think we're going to draw another Mentor here. So I think this pass might just be the best we can do. Otherwise we trade this with Erden maybe. And I don't think that's particularly great. Like, we could even use this for an informant instead. And that way completely deny any value you might find on the Erden. So if we mull this, we are going to find a D-bomb next. Do we want double bomb in our hand? Is the question. I think a single bomb might just be fine. I think this is okay. I think the tortoise is probably more solid. That's nice to see that you found that. I'm gonna start with a tortoise, I guess. I guess this gives him a pretty good Griffin, which maybe I should have waited, because I can go Slay. Okay, that's interesting.
Now, try throwing 3.
So obviously he has a very, very weird hand for this. I'm gonna go for the hitting the Guardian here, I think. Really hope that he's gonna give me something. Yeah, that's a little bit annoying. I'm gonna go for the Yin here. Because I'm not sure if I'm gonna get a taller target here. Could be sitting on the Scytheman, but that wouldn't play for particularly much either. Yeah, it's a Scytheman. So his last card is Erden, we know that. So playing this for Emissary is wrong, I think. We just want points, basically. So I think what we're supposed to do here is to go for the Duchess Informant here. And I guess this is just a taller space unit. Go for it back row. And this is Erden plays for max 6 points, I think. Yeah, he didn't even want to show it to us. Nice. So I think this is really showing the power of the mentors, but also the power of Maxi, that you actually know what the opponent, like you know what you're going to draw, and you know what the opponent has in their hand. So we just managed to play around his Erden completely, because I think if we go for Emissary there, we might actually lose. Alright guys, thanks for watching the video. See you in the next one.